and the shadow. So just sending some of this energy out tonight. And just put whatever the day has brought you, whatever you need to release now, you need to put it into the smoke, and let it go. We know that the smoke comes from this fire, but it disappears into the field here. And my sense is that wherever we intend for it to go, and those who intend to receive it are receiving it. There is no distance in time and space. When we work in the shamanic world, we bring ourselves into each other's presence with our intention, with our love, with our hearts. I'd like to call in tonight the great Andean spirits, particularly the great condor, the highest flyer from our planet, the South American vulture eagle, if you will. It's prophesied that when the great eagle energies of North America connect with the great condor eagle energies of the South American energies, that it's a time for waking up. It's a sign. Don't say a warning. I say a sign. It's time to pay attention, closer attention to what needs to change within ourselves and our planet. We also call in the energies of the great puma, the one whose body makes up the land and connects us to the earth, that connects us to our humanity, that connects us to the animal part of ourselves and our needs and our power, and to use that power in a way that's sacred and that's in a complementary energy to all the other beings that are also powerful. And we find a way to do that in a way that's complementary, that's synergistic with one another, and to live in peace and prosperity and consciousness together. Call the energies of the hummingbird to remember to be lighthearted. Even with everything that's going on, it doesn't do us any good for our hearts to be heavy. We acknowledge it when our hearts are heavy. We don't go into denial about them. But then we do whatever it is that we need to do to lift our hearts, to expand them, and to become light-hearted. I learned about those mysteries a long time ago in Egypt with my aunt and Anubis and the heart that needs to become light as a feather if we're going to be able to assist others and assist this planet in its evolution, and to go through our own evolution, our own shamanic deaths and rebirths again and again. We call upon the magic and the wisdom and support of the hummingbird. We also call upon the power and the healing and the transformation and transmutation of the great serpent of the earth, the serpent that becomes the Urubamba River, the serpent that we will actually be looking down upon from Machu Picchu, that we will ride the train through the jungles to that destination with the river really raging beside us. The great serpent of life and death and rebirth, and how to recycle and rebirth ourselves over and over again. This is something the serpent teaches us. With every breath we take, and to remember the renewal of the waters, the air, the fire, and the earth. And we're going to be very close to all of those energies and all of those elements as we make our journey in shamanic breathwork in Peru. We're calling these sacred energies tonight. We ask them to be with us now and on our journey in October. But right now, I want to invite each one of you, if you haven't already, to close your eyes for a moment and to just sit back for a minute and take some deep breaths together. Allow yourself to breathe in fully and to exhale fully. And to ask yourself, what is calling me on this journey? Is it curiosity? Is there some particular energy there in Peru that I feel that is calling me? Perhaps one of the great totems that I spoke of tonight, the great vulture, the puma. Some call it the jaguar or the black panther, or the magic of the hummingbird, or the sleek body of the great serpent, the waters, as well as the mountains, and the mist that creates a shroud around the mountaintops. Where it is said that the great ones who've gone before live on top of the mountain, in the mist. The great ones who've gone on to become the Andean spirits, the mountain spirits that watch over us, the ancestors, watching over Pachamama, our beautiful earth mother, that takes care of all of our physical needs, that brings us a spiritual connection to the earth, and that heals our minds and our bodies as well as our spirits. That we release our emotions back into her. She is the great recycler of all of our human ills and pains and mistakes, and the great celebrator of new life with us each time we remember that we're divine. Divine humans, incarnated here at this time, on this beautiful Pachamama, on this beautiful earth, to celebrate with all of our brothers and sisters, whether they have fur or fin or feather or skin, or barks of trees, or rocky sides. Remember tonight that you are already shamanic. I know that's true, or you wouldn't be called on this journey. You're one of the ones who's remembered, or who's remembering the magic, the mystery, and the miracles that are created when we follow our hearts and when we follow our calling. And sometimes it leads us to sacred places such as Peru, Egypt, or Bali, or even Iceland, or someplace beautiful in Europe or the United States, or someplace else in the world. Sometimes our own backyard. Remember that you are shamanic and you're answering an inner calling. And listen to your heart and that inner calling right now. Why am I being called at this time? Do I have a purpose in this journey? Am I an emissary of some kind for the world? What am I not going only to receive, but to offer? exhale fully, let go, and gently return. Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. So there may be some other people joining us a little bit later in the midst of this, and if they come on, we'll say hi to them. And there may be some other people who are watching this a little bit later on. So I want you to know that for those of you who speak, that this will be recorded. And so it's important that you know that in case someone's listening to this or watching this later on. And mainly what I'm doing with this live time together is offering people an opportunity to check in a little bit with themselves. Sometimes people have practical questions that we can answer, and if we can't, that we will find the answers for and get back with you and send you in an email answering your questions. Sometimes people have a lot of questions that are practical. That comes up when you're getting ready to make a journey such as this. And sometimes people are just kind of in a place of trust and saying, hey, I'm going, whatever unfolds, and I'm just wanting to maybe feel into the energies a little bit more by connecting with others who've been to Peru before, and maybe some of you have had that opportunity before. I'm aware that in the meditation that I just led, that it really hadn't fully dawned upon me until I listened to my own words why I'm going. I just said, okay, you know, we want to go. It's going to be great. A lot of people have talked about going, and we're going to provide this opportunity. It's one of the most magical places on the planet to go. And, you know, it's always wonderful to be with Vera. For those of you who know Vera, she's amazing. And to be with another shamanic teacher who's a real sister for me is a real treat. And there's so much to experience there. And I love sharing these mysteries and these travels with others. It's one of the highlights of some of the things that we do. It's truly one of the highlights. And that's enough. Didn't have to be anything else. Now, I knew that Brad Collins, who was my late husband, he is my late husband, but who was my husband and soulmate for a number of years, that we were there in 2012. And we had an incredible transformational experience there together. And we were there for what was called the portal opening of the 1221. We were at the front end of 1212. And so we were there for the 12-12-12. It was 12th day, 12th month, 2012. And we were there to open the portal for 2012 and for the December 21st. And it was a very powerful experience that we had at Machu Picchu at sunrise with the Andean shamans, with a group of about 44 people. And it's truly maybe one of the most, if not the most amazing ceremony that I've ever been in. And I really palpably felt the spirits of light coming from the Andes, from some sort of portal into our midst. And everyone that was there really felt into this energy. Since that time, Brad passed in 2014, in August of 2014. Now, we were scheduled to go back in October of 2014, and we were going to go on Brad's birthday, on October 12th. And it turned out that he passed in August, and we had a big, what we called Shamanic Rockstar Memorial for Brad here at Isis Cove and up in the mountains on the Dove Mountain here where we live. And so we did not make the return. But part of Brad made the return, and his ashes, a portion of his ashes were spread there. And my beloved sister, Vera, said, Brad wanted to go on this trip, and he's going. So she took part of his ashes there. And so part of him remains at Machu Picchu. This was part of his request, is that his ashes would be spread at sacred places around the world that we loved journeying together and taking other people to. And so I thought, okay, that's that part is taken care of. Well, it turns out during the meditation for myself, I really registered that we're going back at the exact time we were going to go in 2014, but it's 4 years later, 2018. So it's been 6 years since we were there on my birthday in December for the 12-12-12. My birthday is 12-14. And so it's been 6 years for that. And it's been 4 years since we were supposed to have our return trip, and Brad went on there, or part of him did without me. And now this return with Vera, I remember she said to me, we really have to honor, and I have to take you to the place where some of his ashes are. And I said, yes, of course. But it really dawned upon me that we're going to be there on his birthday, which also happens to be Nikólaus's birthday. His birthday is also October 12th, oddly enough, strangely enough. But it occurred to me that this is feeling like a bookend of some kind, that it's feeling like a closure piece for me. And I feel like that we opened that portal, and that there's something that needs to be done around that portal opening, whether it needs, and maybe I won't know until I'm there, but maybe we'll all collectively know whether it needs to be opened wider, or whether it needs to be directed in a different way, or if there's some message to come to us through that portal. I don't know. But that is the mystery, and that's why we go. I mean, I have my agenda. I'm sure you have yours. But if we're living in the mystery, we're going to go, and we're going to see what the mystery really has to say. And anybody that knows me knows that I have my, I have my outline. I have my schedule. And then for me, being, a lover of the mystery and following the mystery, I'm going to go with what Spirit says to me rather than a rigid agenda. We will, of course, have certain days that we can go certain places and certain times that we can go to those places, and that's what we'll be doing. But what we're going to do there may change. And that's a lot of fun for both Vera and me, because last time we were there together, we would have something that would go, oh no, this needs to happen. And then that would be the exact thing. Or someone would say, I'm really feeling, someone from the group would say, I'm really feeling this. And so we would incorporate that in. So it's not just the two of us, it's all of you as well, and everyone who'll be joining us. So just want to bring that into awareness that for me, I'm now, as I'm filling into this mystery, I'm aware that I'm going to be on a deeper journey than what I even realized, with the portals of light that were the same portals that we encountered in 2012, and something around Brad's energy there. I have a feeling that he'll be very present with us there, since his ashes, the first part of his ashes were spread there. So that's my sharing about this, and I really didn't think that I would have anything to share around this tonight, except to just listen to you if any of you wanted to say anything. But I would like to just open this up for a moment. You don't have to share, but if there's anybody who has something around this brief meditation that I gave, if you have something you want to share, please just raise your hand, and Nikólaus will unmute you.
So we have some phone numbers who are muted.
Okay.
They don't have a good way of raising their
Okay,
hand.
well, let's do people that are on screen first, if there's anybody on screen, and then we'll go to people on phone. Is there anybody on screen who'd like to share anything? If you want to share something, shake your head. There goes Stephanie Redfeather. Yes. Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, Star Wolf. Hi, Nico.
Hi, darling.
So I have to be honest, I was in a little bit of resistance about attending, because this trip is so far off and I have so many other big things ahead of it that I'm like, I don't even know how I'm going to connect to this. But something's like, sit your butt down and connect in. So here I am. And I'm so glad that you gave us the opportunity to check into why we're going. Because for me, it was Peru, of course I'm going. But deeper than, because there's multiple reasons. One, it's just a dream I have that I want to go to many sacred sites. The biggest reason is that I've been studying the Pachacuti Mesa tradition with Oscar. Have been a Mesa carrier for over 10 years, and so this is kind of the homeland of that tradition. So I'm really excited to connect into the land and the people and the mysteries. And, you know, other than that, it's just like what you said, I'm going to roll with it. And as we get closer, I don't know that I have any questions for you right now about anything. I'm sure we'll have more opportunities as we get closer, but right now I'm just kind of being obedient to the call of my soul, to go there and be open to whatever's supposed to happen.
Well, thank you. And it's lovely to see you and hear your voice. And I'm excited for everything that you're doing and following. And this feels like a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's all in a very exciting time in my life. And I know it is in yours as well. So thank you for answering the call. And I do know that this is a little early out. But we try to, we've been planning this trip for a while. And we've tried to keep current. When we did that with Egypt too. We were planned 2 years out, and we did regular calls. And sometimes there would be 3 people on, and sometimes the whole group would show up, and that sort of thing. And but it's just kind of, I think it helps people that are out there just kind of like, wait a minute, I'm going to Peru. I mean, when you're going to Peru or going to Egypt, you're going to some place like that. It's kind of like, or Africa. We went to Africa and we did calls ahead of time. Those are big trips. It's a little different than going to Paris or France, or England. They're bigger trips, and a lot of things can come up for people. So it's an opportunity to really help people, stay plugged in and feel that, yes, it's really happening. We're not just imagining out here. It's really happening. We're really going there, and it's going to be amazing. So thank you. Okay, over here.
Let's see.
Wait just a second.
Was it Jill?
We can't hear you yet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There she
Thank you.
There we go, Jill.
Hey, Jill.
Hi. So for me, it was a little different. I never even was on my radar to go to Peru, ever. And then when I did the Shamanic Breathwork with you in Sedona in November, I was totally called there. So I don't really totally know why, but I know that I'm supposed to go there. So, and I just want to thank you for having this again, because I keep saying I'm going to Peru, but it is so far away. And just being with everybody tonight, I'm just really excited, and it still feels really right to be going.
Jill, I'm so glad. And that was
I'm searching for something's there for me.
I know you are. And that was such an amazing, amazing workshop. I have to just say this. Even it was my own workshop. I just have to say that November workshop in Sedona was over the top.
It was. I had like a major breakthrough for myself there. So I did too.
I did too. It was really over the top. So I'm so glad you're coming with us. Yeah. And it will be amazing. And as I said again, I know that we're in March, and October feels like a long time. But oh my goodness, we're moving at the speed of light these days, I mean, just since November, I've been to Egypt, I've been to Iceland, I've been to Sedona, I've been to Seattle, I've been to Portland, I've been to San Francisco, some other places I can't even think of right now, I'm getting ready pretty soon to head back out to Sedona and Texas and, lots of places before we even get to October. But it all moves very quickly. And then all of a sudden we're there. So this is a good thing for us to connect right now. And thank you for following your heart, your intuition, and your breakthrough.
Okay, thank you.
There's Keith.
Hey guys.
Hey Keith.
I miss you guys.
I miss you too.
And November was awesome. And all the other ones that you did up there were awesome as well. So when you said you were going to Peru, it kind of was like a no-brainer, because that's been on my radar as a place to go to and connect with. And the fact that Jill's going, that I know somebody other than you two that's going to be there, is awesome. So you know, it just, I don't know what I'm looking for. And first of all, this is triggering a lot of issues for me just in the planning aspect of things, because planning something 3 weeks in advance is a big time for me. So trying to plan something, like thinking about something that's a year out and having to deal with all of that stuff is kind of stretching my boundaries a little bit. And so this is helping because it's making it a little bit more concrete. So that's a good thing. And then, you know, being out there with you guys in June will also be, will help solidify some of that stuff in there too. So
Yeah,
that'll be good.
Oh, here in the mountains with us in North
I
Carolina.
am.
Finishing up your shamanic breathwork training.
Yes. So I'm looking forward to that.
Go.
So yeah, so it's been a great, amazing ride. In fact, actually, I'll have to show you this for a second. Can you see that?
Yes, I do.
So I just did them with a friend of mine. And today was the 30th question.
You got the old original.
I know I do, and I'm bringing it for you to sign.
Look at that. There's only about 4 of those. It might be worth something. That's your.
See, that's why I'd hold up and show it to you. Yes, I have the one that you guys did there. So.
That's what it looked like.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
Jason, have you ever seen the original?
Here, I'll take the shine cover off.
Yeah, come over here, Jason. Come here and check it out.
Here. Say something, Keith, so you get big on my
Hey,
screen.
Jason.
Hello. Oh, wow.
Hey, look, it's all like plastic spiral bound.
So, Keith, real quick, Jason, we were actually just having a discussion. He just finalized an edit to the 30 questions, submitted it to Amazon so that it can start being sold through Amazon. So we're
Sweet.
So that's cool that you have that today.
Yes, and like I said, I just finished those are the 30th question, so we just finished the cycle.
You know, it's amazing that little book has gone all over the world. I think at one point it was like we knew it was in about 20 different countries.
Yeah.
And you know, just by word of mouth, you know, it's the only book that I didn't publish with a publishing company, and it has just gone everywhere. So.
Well, that's how you and I met.
I know. I'm so grateful.
I know, right? Me too.
You know, so you never know when you're doing something, and you know, like you know, the book. It's like I wrote it for a friend because she was suicidal, or it wrote itself, and mainly for her, and it's helped so many people, and it's brought so many incredible people into my life in that little book.
So you never know how big of a ripple you're creating.
That's right. That's right.
So thank you very much.
Yeah. So we figured it was time to finally, Jason's really been working on just some edits and some things and getting some permissions and things. So we figured it was probably time just to go ahead and put it on Amazon since it's impacted so many people. And I kept waiting and waiting, wanted to getting it more edited. I said, heck with it. Just get it. People have loved it with all its mistakes.
I was going to say it's perfect as it was.
It was perfect. Just put it
I think this one has 2 of the same page in there somewhere. And
you know, and that perfectionism is not what touches people.
And it's also not what it's cracked up to be.
Spoken from recovering perfectionist.
Yes.
Any questions?
No, but they will come up, I guarantee you.
Okay, darling.
Mwah.
Okay, and we've got some people on the phone.
Yeah, we have a 479-970-6087.
Does somebody want to say something from 479?
Oh, hi, this is Heather. I did not know I'd raise my hand, but I'll speak, I guess, since, yeah.
They want to say anything?
Who are we speaking with?
Oh, this is Heather.
Oh, hi, Heather.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, yeah, I didn't raise my hand, but since I got unmuted, I will just speak quickly. I'm just, I met you at Pam and Barb's. I was part of
Yes.
a group there. Yeah, it's that, Heather. And just kind of got sparked by the idea. And when I saw the call was coming on, thought it'd be a good way to keep feeling into that. I came in mid-meditation, was a few minutes late. So yeah, it was interesting to see what came up, dropping in. And I'm just feeling called to just kind of meditate on that a little deeper and see what's really stirring behind that, and also to trust if it's not a super clear answer. So, yeah, and I've just been honored to hear what others are sharing and feel the power of the group that's already committed. So, yeah, I'm excited to see if it keeps calling me forward. I had the honor of going to Peru and Machu Picchu years ago, but it was before I was really deep on my path, and always felt that I would go back. So yeah, it seems like it'd be a magical blessing if it was with such an amazing group of people. So yeah, I will continue to see what comes up.
Well, what a surprise to hear from you, and I'm glad to hear from you. And I'm glad
Yeah.
you stayed.
Yeah. Thank you. It's wonderful just hearing you. So thank you.
On the call too.
Okay, dear. We will
right.
look forward to hearing from you again or seeing you in the future.
Okay. Thank you both.
Bye.
Bye. See, so the next number we have ends in 0581.
And again, if you don't have anything to say, you can just check in with your name and we'll go from there.
Hi, you guys. It's Ruth Kellogg.
Who is it?
Hey, Ruth.
Oh, Ruth.
Can you hear me? Ruth.
can.
Yeah. You can hear me.
Yes.
Oh, awesome. It's so nice to hear your voices. And also, for me, I thought it was a no-brainer. I was with Jill when we were doing that workshop back and Keith. Hi, Keith.
This is so done, Ruth.
Yeah, so I just only have pure excitement for Peru. I have no idea why I'm being called to be there, except it's always been on my bucket list. And to go with you guys and have an amazing experience is like beyond. So it's like it couldn't be more perfect. So when you said you were going to do this trip, I was like, okay, then I've been waiting for you guys to say that, I guess, because I'm on board. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's so nice to have Venus Rising family to go with. It really is. And, there's some other folks that are going to be coming that haven't been with us yet, but we'll welcome them then to the Venus Rising Circle. But it really makes a difference. I've been on trips before where hardly anybody knew anybody. And by the end of the journey, everybody was close and connected and that sort of thing. But sometimes it's a little harder than if you have like just a workshop space and that's where you are every day and you get to know one another. If you're, kind of getting up and doing maybe a meditation or a journey or something, and then, going out each day to these different sites, and you come home and you're tired and you really don't feel like socializing, you just want to get a hot bath and go to bed because you're getting up early to go to these sites and things like that, and maybe share a meal with people, but you may not be that talkative, But if you're with more of a family feeling, you kind of like are hung over together, and
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So there's a whole feeling of relaxation. There's a whole feeling of already knowing each other, not having to go through a lot of the formalities, that's kind of what we do in order to get to know one another. So it's really nice that I think when we can have a group that knows one another, that can then, because of the way we are,
right. Well, we'll just include everybody like we know everybody anyway.
Yeah. Because we do. We already know their hearts. We already know their souls.
Absolutely.
They're on this trip, so we include them. But it's mainly Venus Rising people so far. But Vera has a few people that I don't know, and then there's some other folks. So, but Ruth, is there anything you want to add tonight?
Not really. Okay. Will we touch base later? And I'm sure you guys sent us information, but in terms of the itinerary, we're going to fly in. You're going to give us a location to fly into, right? And then we're going to be there for a few days, and then we're going to fly somewhere else.
I'll let
So
Nikólaus
I'll answer that for you right now, Ruth.
Okay.
How it is, let me actually pull up the itinerary right in front of me. So we will all be flying in to Lima, and then on the morning of October 5th. So, you know, how we're suggesting people do their flights is to fly into Lima the night of the 4th, like to fly in and land in Lima on October 4th and stay the night in hotel around Lima. There's a couple airports right across from the Lima airport. And we're suggesting that you stay there, which is not a part of the trip because we actually start on October 5th. We will all be getting together and then going on a train, I believe.
Not a train, shuttle.
A shuttle. And we'll be going into the Sacred Valley.
Which is about an hour away. Well, let me put it this way. You will fly into Lima, just like he said, and there's a couple of hotels directly across the street. You just walk outside. And we'll give you more of that information as we get closer. But then when you check in the next day, you fly to Cusco. And when you get to Cusco, that's when you will catch your shuttle, and you'll have somebody standing outside with a sign and all that kind of stuff. And people will not leave without you. You know, Vera is our person who's has taken this trip probably 35, 40 times over the years. Literally, she started like 25 years ago when she went before anybody else went. She was one of the first people. And so she knows all the people. She knows all the, you know, the shuttles, the guides, and everything else. Yeah. And so you'll be coming out of the airport. You'll, you know, catch your guide. You'll catch your shuttle, and then you'll be shuttled to the Sacred Valley. And the Sacred Valley, the reason we're getting you out of Cusco very quickly is that Cusco is an elevation of about 12,000 in different areas, 12,000 to 15,000 feet. And so, you know, for me, when I go to Sedona and it's 4,000 or 5,000 feet, I get a little loopy, you know? And so we go quickly down into an hour away into the Sacred Valley, where we'll be closer to, in different places, from about 6,000 to 8,000 feet, which is still, you know, high.
Pretty high, yeah.
And one of the first things you do, that I do, the minute I get off the plane in Cusco, is I go right to the counter, and before I do anything else, I buy a little oxygen tank like this. And I carry a little oxygen tank, and it kind of looks like people vaping. You don't look so strange now, you know, because people walk around vaping. Vape your oxygen, you know, and that really helps. And I asked, being the recovering addict that I am, I said to Vera, "Can I overdose on this?" She's like, "It's oxygen. You're going to be," she laughed. She said, "You could just breathe it. You can take as many hits off of it as you want." She says, "It's not going to do anything to you except give you the oxygen." And then we come into the Sacred Valley, and we really take it easy for a day or so and really give people time to acclimate. And you'd be kind of surprised how quickly your body will acclimate as long as we drink water, eat lightly, although you're tempted to eat more at the restaurant that we're going to be at, but to eat lightly and to those take care of yourself. Within just a day or two, your body really begins to acclimate. And then we can really, you know, do our journeys where we're walking and, you know, going to different places. Yeah. So that first couple of days, we have the shamans come to us. They'll come to where we're staying. I just have to brag a little bit because the place we're staying is really beautiful. It's really beautiful. And it has one of the leading spas in the world. Okay. So you don't have to do any spa treatments, but this is one of the places that I give myself a spa holiday. A lot of places I might get a massage while I'm there, but I don't have time to do it. I make time to get the treatments there. They have incredible spa treatments of all kinds. They're world renowned. And so if you've really been planning that, you know, to save a little money for a little something extra, save it for your spa time, because this is what a beautiful place to do self-healing. And we'll have a lovely room where we'll breathe and get together each morning, and the shamans will come to us that first day or two so that we can do the ceremonies on the grounds there. and still be active.
Nice.
It's just an amazing trip. So that's just the beginning of it. It's not even Machu
Oh,
Picchu.
it sounds so amazing. Yes.
Like,
yeah, I'm so excited.
Anything else. So
we fly in on the 4th, we spend the night, and then we're going to fly out on the 5th, and then we're going to drive down to the Sacred Valley.
Yeah.
Yes, and we'll all be traveling together. Starolf and I will actually be already at the Sacred Valley because of what Starolf was explaining with the high elevation.
I want to be able to be there for you.
Yeah.
So Vera will be with you all October 5th and traveling with you guys as a group to the Sacred Valley, and we'll meet you there. And
she's fun.
You know, I can't remember what Vera said about how she does her tickets when she buys her tickets to Peru. Starolf and I have already bought our tickets to Peru. We did that right when it opened up.
There's limited flights.
I would suggest, you know, for those of you who are committed in coming and are ready for this journey, to go ahead and look into the flights and maybe even buy your reservation now. And we absolutely, you know, highly recommend trip insurance. And you can get that through Vera's company, Spirits of the Earth, or if you have a trip insurance agency that you like to use. But shift happens. We've got a lot going on the planet right now, so we definitely recommend that. But, you know, I would recommend that this is a good time to start looking into flights. You never know how prices go.
And there's limited flights. So you want to make sure that you've got both, you know, your first flight, your second flight, all taken care of, because the flights are limited. And you also don't want to be cramped up. You want to make sure you have good seat.
Well, you said a second flight. You mean the domestic flight?
Yes, that's already
So
taken care
I'll clarify, you know, everybody who signed up as of right now has their domestic flights already cared for. And we're holding those tickets, and we took care of that. That way, you know, as you meet up with Vera, she'll take care of getting us all on the plane as a group.
Awesome.
And
that answers all my questions. Yeah.
Just to bring up, for those of you who don't have the message box, she was saying that taking liquid chlorophyll also helps the body increase red blood cells, which will help with your oxygen intake at higher altitudes. Thank you for that piece, Stephanie.
It does turn your teeth and your tongue green for a while. And I encourage you to not spill it on your clothes, or then just designate whatever you spill it on as a dish rag from then on. A dust cloth. But seriously, it does help. And green teeth is worth it. Thank you, Stephanie. Okay. Anything else, Ruth?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, darling. Hey, Ruth, I'm going to be in Sedona at Gathering of the Shamans. I don't know if you're going to be there during that time or not, but
I'm going to be in Sedona May 12th through the 19th, property shopping.
I think I'm leaving the weekend. We're the weekend before that.
We're there the first weekend, and we leave on
summer.
So we'll just miss you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I wanted to get in there earlier, but I just couldn't get my timeshare to trade, so I just left it in God's hands and thought, okay, this is where it's supposed to be. I'll just let it go.
Yeah.
But have an awesome, and I'll definitely be there with you guys in spirit.
Thank you. Keith, I do want to say something to you just very quickly. If you are interested in coming to help facilitate, send me a message around that, and I'll see if we can work something out for you if you're interested in Gathering of the Shamans. It's sold out completely right now, probably about 300 or 400 people. I don't know.
Okay.
But I'd like to, we're going to need some help.
If I can do it, I'll do it. Yeah, if you can figure it out, see what you can do.
Okay.
Because you know me, I don't have a problem taking a day off from school.
Dedicated science teacher for what, 25 years, I think?
Anyway. 23.
Inner city Phoenix.
Yes.
Hats off, deep bow.
But I'm happy right now because I'm on my end of my spring break.
Yes, you are.
So.
Okay, and who else do we have?
We've got one more number ending in 2543.
Hi, it's Deb from Minnesota.
Hi,
Hey,
Deb.
Hello. It's just good to hear from everyone and connect. I had intended to go with you guys to Peru in 2012 and then had some health challenges, so I wasn't able to go, so I'm really looking forward to going this time. And as you were doing the meditation, what came through is just, and this is kind of why I travel quite a bit, and it feels like this is part of my soul purpose, is that being in different places on the planet activates my DNA, and then somehow I'm a conduit for grounding certain energies into wherever I am, and I think that's what a lot of us are doing. That's why a lot of us are traveling right now. So that's the maybe more esoteric piece. And then the other thing is it's just fun to see different places, and I love traveling with Venus Rising, and yeah. And the questions I had were more around the flight, so it sounds like you've answered some of the logistical questions. And will you be sending like the names of the hotels or anything? Normally I travel with somebody, but this time I'm the only one I know that's going here. I heard Stephanie's on the call, but I want to make sure that I know what I'm doing this time.
I'll send you a message that has the hotel that we chose to stay at. Like, and if you Google Lima hotels, like at the airport, you'll see that the hotels are right next to the airport. There's like two of them, I believe. But there's one that looks like it's literally even attached to the airport. But I'll send you that name.
Okay.
Yeah, there are only two right there, so you don't want to have to get a taxi late at night to go out into Lima by yourself. You want, so you, if you're, I encourage all of you to make your reservation for the hotel ASAP.
Yeah.
For that time, and those that are right next door. And Deb, if you send, like you said, send a message to both me and to Nico, and I'll make sure that we get the name of the hotels. There's two of them. I thought one of them was gosh, I can't think of the name. Comfort Inn or something like that. Can't remember. And then the other one's a little higher grade than that. But
we're staying at a Wyndham.
Wyndham, yeah.
Yeah, that one looked nice, the Wyndham.
Yeah. So, but you want to be close because you'll need to get up really early the next morning because it gets too foggy and too cloudy to fly over the Andes midday every day, and so they really, you get off early flights and get out of there.
It'll be an early departure for the group.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and we'll have more specific information on when exactly the group is going to meet and where on October 5th for the flights. We'll do that as we get a little bit closer to time. Right now, I think it's important to look at your flights. And speaking of flights, I have it for us. We will be departing. So we end on the October 14th. And what we're going to do is for those who aren't flying out until later in the evening or even until October 15th, we'll have a kind of a last dinner together. Vera has a very nice place she's excited to take us to. So we suggest also when you're looking at your flights to plan for later in the evening of October 4th.
14th.
Our 14th, I'm sorry. And ours actually turns out we don't leave till 1 in the morning on the 15th. So what we'll do is we'll go to the airport and just hang out in a lounge or something later in the evening after dinner.
Yeah.
So, but definitely recommend looking into flights now and definitely reserving your hotel close to the Lima airport.
Yeah, it's nice to have that kind of that last dinner before we all fly out together in Lima. And if it's a place that I think it is this really beautiful restaurant that goes out into the middle of the ocean.
I think so.
Yeah, and the ocean's surrounding it, so it's very beautiful, and you can kind of get a little sense of Lima too. So, okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Stephanie, I see your question about recommending you find a roommate on your own. So for the hotel, when flying into Lima, if you're wanting to have a roommate for that, that's definitely something, let us know. And then what we can do is we can have it so that we reach out to the group as a whole and say, hey, who of you are looking for roommates? And we can connect people up who want a roommate. Yeah. And then, roommates will already be set for the rest of the trip. But for that hotel night, we can definitely arrange for that for those of you who are looking for roommates and don't have one.
So I'm kind of assuming that perhaps Jill and Ruth will be maybe traveling together. You're shaking your head. Yes. Okay. So I'm guessing you, and we have Deb online and, Stephanie. So the two of you might speak to one another or not.
Yep.
Some other folks too. Deb, did you have something to say?
No, I said that would be great.
So, so just kind of think about that. And you might even, because let's see, one of you is coming from Minneapolis, the other is coming from Kansas City, I think. So you can hook up your flights in that way and stuff. So anyway, you can think about it. Okay, I think that's everybody. Yeah?
Yep, myself.
Okay.
Some group email.
What would you like to say?
So for the logistics piece, finishing up, I will be sending a group email to all of us who are going on the trip a little bit closer, and I will introduce us all to each other, and that'll be a time where we can connect about logistics, like sharing flight itineraries, sharing travel tips about going to Peru. At some point, I will be sending, and it might be in this email, an attachment for an info sheet on Peru, talking about like adapters for Peru, how the electrical outlets work there, and about the oxygen and the different things that will be good for you to know about water. We like to do a general information sheet wherever we're traveling, so you're aware of that. I will say right now, plan to take a couple extra empty duffel bags with you in your suitcases. I've never been personally.
Don't bring duffel bags.
Oh,
you're going to the market, and they're great, and they're inexpensive, and they're,
I've just heard have a lot of space for your shopping at the markets.
That's shopping heaven there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Something else you said that I was going to just add to you.
The info sheet and oxygen, adapters, water.
Oh. And that is, assuming that it's still the same. Last time at this hotel, the internet was really good. It was so good that I was able to do a webinar from my room for a group back home. So on a Blue Star webinar call, a conference webinar. So I don't know, but I'm assuming that it's still good. So that was, family and friends usually want to know those kind of things. Like, can I reach you? When we got down to to Machu Picchu and to Aguas Caliente, that hotel, it was a little bit spottier, but I still had internet. It just wasn't as good.
Mm-hmm. And we carry on us a phone for emergency phone calls as well for family members. So I'll give that number out once I've actually gotten into Peru and got the SIM card for that and have a number. So
we're anticipating a wonderful journey. And there's several other wonderful people coming on this journey. They're just not on this evening. Hopefully they'll be listening to this later or checking in. And I think that's it.
Yeah, so I'd like to share a little bit. During the meditation, I was feeling into what was calling me the most with Peru right now. And, Deb, you really spoke into it, and Starl, if you spoke into it a little bit. I was feeling Brad, and I remember hearing stories of Brad being at Machu Picchu on our birthday and the 12-12-12 date, and how he just became this ecstatic child in a sense of how happy he was and how ecstatic he was with playing his flute and jumping around like Pan. Mm-hmm. And I was really tapping into that energy with Brad while we were in the meditation, and I was feeling that that's really the medicine that calls to me right now, is that hummingbird medicine and that lighthearted medicine that the hummingbird brings to our world. I was thinking about the stories the Native Americans talk about with the fifth world coming, or whatever number you want to give it, but with the hummingbird people, the people of honey coming. And, I've been in such a place of transformation these past couple of years that I've gotten very comfortable with the shadow, and I'm excited to let more of the light that I feel that Peru has right now for so many of us going to it. Like Deb was saying, those frequencies, the imaginal cells, looking forward to bringing my vessel there so I can let myself be saturated by these energies for myself personally, but then also to carry forward even more into the world with anybody and everybody I connect with, and especially work with on the breathwork floor and in that field. So I'm just feeling so grateful right now and excited about this trip to be able to connect with the Apus spirits, I feel a really strong connection that I'll really feel Brad strongly in my heart there as well. Looking forward to that. And of course, the mystery of whatever will actually come up and what is calling me deeper in my heart in Peru.
So thank you, Nikólaus. And thank you for speaking about the breath work. And that is, I want to remind everybody, including myself, to do a lot of deep breathing before you go. If you haven't started walking, this is a time to start walking and walking uphill, and to really breathe. If you're having difficulty getting outside for some reason and walking, then even just sitting in your chair, go ahead and start doing do some really deep breathing and expanding your chest and taking it down in your belly and just practice doing that several times a day. Take, like 5 minutes to sit and breathe. Do that several times a day. If you do not get your lungs exercised, you're going to have some troubles when you're there. So I'm just going to say that up front. Everybody pretty much, everybody that I've been on the trip with and the trips that I've been there, and Vera's been there with many, many people, has been able to acclimate and do what they need to do. Nothing bad's happened to anyone. But sometimes there have been some people, especially when they went to Cusco, who had to have the bigger oxygen mask, and to really lie down and not be able to go out into Cusco and that sort of thing. So I really want to ask you to take this seriously and this is an opportunity for you to breathe deeply. And it's going to benefit you now here, just how you're feeling in life. It's going to open your psyche and maybe give you some visions or whatever. And when you're there and you're just going to need to go like, you're going to be altered. You're going to be very, very altered with just 2 or 3 deep breaths. You're going to be in an altered state. So you really want to be able to really open up your lungs and to breathe. If you're a smoker, good time to quit or put on a patch. That's all I can say. So
go to vaping oxygen.
Okay. All right, everyone. Let's take a deep breath together and exhale fully. And we'll set up another call as we get closer to time. And blessings to you all. Look forward to seeing some of you in Sedona. Look forward to seeing some of you at other things along the way.
Thank you so much.
Love you all. Good night.
Love you.
Love you.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Questions?
Bye now.
Message us. Let us know.
Good night.
Will do. Good night.
Good night.